What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me on another video. Here we go. On today's episode, we're going to be installing a EGR blocking plate on the Fiesta. Now, I think it's called EGR. Yeah, EGR blanking plate. Looks like this little thing. Yeah. So, we've got a few instructions here as well. Like I said, this is all new to me. This diesel tuning and fiddling around with diesel engines. I've never had a diesel. I don't know much about them, so this is all new to me. But I do know EGR is exhaust gas recirculation. That's what it stands for. Basically, what happens is in diesels they thanks. Yeah, basically it does what it says right there. It recirculates exhaust gases that don't get burnt or something like that, and it goes back into the inlet manifold and back through the EGR or whatever. And there's a valve, just a single valve inside the EGR that opens and closes or something like that. And over time, if you don't clean them out, they get gunked up and blocked, and the valve doesn't do its job. I think it creates a lot of black soot out the exhaust. Mine doesn't do that, which is good. Yeah, so that's hopefully when I have a look inside it in a minute. It shouldn't be too dirty in there. I'm not too sure though. Like I said, the car's done 89,000 miles now. I think I've done like 800 miles in it since I've owned it, so not a lot of miles. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like when I open it up inside. So something new, but it comes with instructions, which is good because I have no idea where it was. I know it's on the front of the engine somewhere underneath the airbox. It says here in the instructions that it is between the near enough where is it? Near the fuel filter housing. You need to remove that, but don't disconnect the fuel lines. Undo the 3 bolts that hold the fuel filter mounting bracket and remove and place somewhere else for the minute. That way it allows access to the EGR valve. Loosen 3 bolts, and that's enough to put the blanking plate in its place, retighten the bolts, refit the bracket and the filter. Well, it sounds pretty straightforward, and there's diagrams here as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so let's spin the camera around and get started. This is new territory for me. Let's give it a crack. Let's give it a go. Okay, so get your AJ Focus key tag, by the way, guys. Still on the AJ Focus storefront on Facebook. And, so this is the blanking plate. This is what it looks like. It's a bit of aluminum. It shows there on the diagram. It's pretty cool. So that's it there. Let's get on there. So I also ordered from this company as well 2 rubber grommets. Thinking, what the hell are they for, AJ? Are you blocking something else in the engine? No, these are for up here. The blanking plugs go in there. Because when it rains or water gets in there, both sides, it's just, and then they get rusty, and then the bolts you can't get them out. That ain't too bad. This one's normally the worst one. It's pretty gunky in there and dirty. I'll probably just spray a little bit of WD-40 in there and a bit of the blanking plate on it. Okay, so I'll give that a bit of a clean out in there. It should just plonk right in. It's the little things that matter, doesn't it? Eh? It's the little caps in there. Just like that. Okay, and on this side as well. It's got little ridges on it, so it sits in between the turret. Alright, there we go, just plonks in there like that, and that side's a little bit tighter because obviously you've got the little bit of a strut brace or some sort of brace in here. Just need to get it in between that. There we go. Right, next thing we need to do is we need to remove the airbox because it's down there in that area. So yeah, let's have a feel and see how this comes off. Okay guys, so what you want to do is obviously disconnect it from your turbo there. You want to disconnect this oil feed breather pipe, I think it is. It's just one of the weird clamps. I think that's the match sensor you need to delete, and then it's just held in with like rubber bungs underneath, and just give it a good pull. need to also remove the wire from the mat on here as well. And I think that's the boost vacuum hose as well. I need to just pop off there, and the airbox should be removed easily. Like that. Nice, okay. Cool, so that's what that looks like. Cool, there's not much movement on the turbo actual wheel itself, which is pretty good. Just about see it in there. That's pretty cool. Tiny little thing, but it's, yeah, no oil in there, which is good as well. So, on the instructions it says it's down. Oops, it says it's down there somewhere. I think that's the fuel thing I need to remove. I need to go look at the instructions again. I don't want to mess anything up. What's going on, guys? I will explain what happened. So I filmed this already, the install on the EGR blanking plate, and yeah, went to edit the video and guess what, it corrupted. So that was quite annoying doing that, because it was a difficult job to do, and also get a camera down there and I managed to get the camera down there to show you what I was doing, but when I went to edit it I was like, you got to be joking, this footage has been lost. I'm like, oh my god. So the beginning of the video you just seen, it shows you what to remove, and I think it would have done anyway, I can't remember. But anyway, I've taken the airbox off, so that's what you got to do, you got to take the airbox off. I take it off actually from the turbo. Ignore a bit of cardboard here because it's a lot of yeah, just take it off from the turbo and just stuff something in there, stop a bit crap flying in there. So I was leaning this cardboard because, as you can see, on top of the engine there's lots of sharp bits that stick up. Just having a bit of cardboard layover. Right, so now I'm not gonna take it off and show you how I did it and show you where I put it. But what I found, this is the EGR bit on top of the engine here. This is one of the pipes that go into it. So it's just a 2 Torx piece bolts, one there, and then pop it off. There's also at the back of the engine, there's that bracket there, that's a 10mm bolt, and then you can remove this whole entire pipe with the clamp down there, as you can sort of see, that one. So the EGR is that piece there on the diesel. So when you're in here and you're taking the airbox off, you need to actually remove, this is the fuel filter canister. So you need to, there's a clip here, just unclip that, and it just lifts up and out. Alright, so when you've done that, there's a bolt there, there's another one round down there, and there should be one there. I didn't put that one back on because it's so tight to this pipe here. Yeah, they're like an 8mm. So there's those 3 bolts that you need to undo, 1, 2 and 3 down there. It's alright holding 2 on, it can't go anywhere. Like I said, it's just difficult to get that one back on. But like I said, it can't go anywhere. So after you remove, just push this to one side. Do not, I repeat, do not disconnect
any of these pipes, any of these electrical wires on here, because that is full of pressure and fuel in there. You don't want that squirting out over you, so there is enough room to move it. Once you've given this a bit of slack, you can take it off and down there like that, and then you can sort of tilt that out of the way. Once the bracket's removed as well, so you've got a bit more slack on this. But yeah, do not disturb any of those pipes or electrical components on this canister, because that will be pretty bad, fuel going everywhere. You have to think that's under high pressure in there. But anyway, yeah, so as soon as you've done that, then you can get to this bit at the back here. Let me put this back on for a sec. This is where it's going to be a bit tricky, alright? Because after you removed that, I can't really show you because I've not taken it off completely. You can just about see it. Get the torch down there. You can see that new shiny piece just in the middle there, me and my thumb. There's the blanking plate. So, this shiny piece here. It's the only shiny clean piece here in the middle. Alright, goes in between this and the block. Now there's one bolt here, you can see, there's one bolt there, and there's really tight, here's the plastic pipes that are really difficult to bend. You do just about get enough bend on them, and there's one right underneath on the other side, so they're one's at an angle, so it's down here, you can feel it, just down there somewhere. As you can see, I struggled getting the camera down there when I was doing it, but you can see where the plate goes. Now the plate does actually have, I would have shown you at the beginning of the video, shows you've got those hooks with the bolts to slide over. Now I'll drop just be careful when you're doing it, because I did actually drop that plate down behind the engine three times, and it's difficult. As soon as when you drop it down there, it's difficult to retrieve again because no magnet picks it up. So just be careful if you do drop it. It does say you don't have to pull the bolts out all the way, but I had no choice. But that's when I removed this pipe here, this whole section. You can leave it connected, you don't actually have to disconnect it from there, but if up to you if you want to. You can leave it connected to this, I did, and then just remove this whole entire pipe. You've got a bit more slack on this bit to move back and forth, so then you can actually get that plate on there and then put the bolts in. It will take a few turns and a few tries trying to get the plate on, because like I said, there's not a lot of room here. There is just enough room for your hand. Those bolts on there are also at 8mm. The two bolts, one there and one underneath, as I've shown you. So it's all an 8mm, and it's just time consuming. Just take your time, and then once it's on, there we go. It's blanked off then. All right. So that is how. I'm sorry I couldn't show you any more details, but you can see it's on. You can see the plate down there. There it is. You can see the plate is in place. And that's the EGR underneath the fuel canister. On top of that, just after you put it all back together, just reconnect it all so the ECU still thinks it's connected and all that good stuff. Yeah. So then it's like you won't get any warnings up on your dash or whatever. And then if you're like me and you're waiting again to get a tune, it will still run fine. Obviously on cold starts it'll be a bit lumpy, because obviously I think this is what this is here for, to keep it on, especially on winters, is to warm it up, isn't it, really, the engine. I don't know, it does something, exhaust gas recirculation, something like that, but you don't want that crap going through the engine, because all this pipe, I guarantee this pipe here, because when I took it off from up here, all of it was starting to block up with soot and that real thick, nasty carbon build-up. And I'll tell you, it is really tough. I tried scraping at it with a screwdriver and it will not come off. Little tiny bits of chipping off here and there, but the carbon is a real nasty piece of crap to get off. So I can imagine over time that pipe getting completely blocked and the engine running like a bag of shit. Inside this EGR valve, I did actually pull this back enough so I could see there's a valve in there. A single valve, there's just one valve. It's like a valve inside an engine, opens and closes. I did actually manage to look inside, and it's actually not too bad in there. There wasn't that much of a carbon build up. It looks like it has been cleaned. It is very black in there, but there's no build up of carbon. There's only tiny bits. So, like I said, this engine's quite low mileage for the age of the car. Normally these diesel Zetecs are over 100,000 miles, 130,000 miles. But this one on 88,000 miles is low mileage, so it looks like this has probably had a clean in its life. But yeah, I've caught it before it's starting to get worse. So I don't know what the benefits are. Like I said, it just stops the crap from building up. But also, I'm guessing you do gain a bit more turbo spool and a bit more. Just sharpens up the throttle, I think, a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really dove too much into it. I just know it's a nasty thing to have on a diesel, and I'm just, as soon as I get it remapped and tuned and that, we'll get that mapped off. Obviously, when you go to a mapping place and a tuner, they can plug that in to their computer and they can say that it's been blocked off, so the engine can warm up somewhere. Can warm up another way in the winter. I don't know. You get what I mean, though. Diesels are very complicated, but that's the install on the EGR valve. So I can't remember if I had an exit or to the video. I think I have. So if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned, because now I'm out here doing that, taking the airbox off. I've been spraying up the WD-40 on the glow plugs at the back. So wait for the next video, guys, and the glow plugs will be coming. Show you how to do it. Yeah, that's it. That's the EGR installed, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later. Yeah, just be careful with that. See you guys soon. Bloody hell, guys. So, I don't know how long it's been, over an hour I think. Just put it all back together. Not started it yet, so I'm just about to start it now and just see if it starts. But yeah, I've been a little bit busy off camera because my camera died, so I needed to wait for it to charge. So I've redone these vacuum hoses for now. I rerouted the one that went up there before down under there to the actuator because it's rubbing on the coolant pipe. I didn't want it to do that, so now it's just hovering above it over this side. I found a blue hose that I had lying around for the ST. I've rerouted it there now, so it gets air through there, straight in. Because before it went around somewhere down there, but it was missing a side piece, so I did that the other day. And you can see in there now, look at that, oil filter housing on the oil cooler. It's now been cleaned up as well. I just gave that a good clean with some. This stuff is amazing. You see this in the shops, guys, grab it, because it is bloody good stuff. You leave it on there for a few, I don't know, about 15-20 seconds, and then you just wipe it, and then spray it again, wipe it, and it just comes off so easy. So Astonish, sponsor me. Bloody good. Right, so I've got out for a little bit of a drive around the state, and so far so good. I'm just gonna go down this road here. See what happens. So far, so good. There's no warning lights on the dash. Yeah, it seems to be running fine. Turbo accelerator feels a bit more responsive as well. The turbo in this thing anyway is quite responsive down low, but now it just seems a little bit more responsive. Oh my god, these lights take for ages. Yeah, let's see anyway. It's not really warm enough yet either, so yeah, it's definitely improved it's spooling up. Definitely
dead spot between 1900 RPM, 2000 RPM is where it normally kicks in, and yeah. Now they're in a dead spot. Get your foot down, it's like there it goes. Jumped from 35 to 60 just like that now. Not bad, not bad. Yeah. No warning lights, no nothing. So, I think that's a wrap then, guys. I think we're done with that. Bit of a nightmare to do, I must admit. It's not the nicest jobs to do, getting behind there. I scratched up on my hands. Those fuel line pipes, man, they're just covered in that I don't know, some weird sort of metal mesh fabric stuff to obviously stop them flexing. Yeah, so that stuff's really, really sharp. Yeah, definitely picked up. But yeah, all you need is 8mm sockets, wrenches, spanners, whatever. And a good half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour, depending on, well, just depending on everything really. With me, it took just over an hour because I get bloody dropping that freaking spacer down there, the blanking plate. Anyway, that's me done then, guys. Yeah, that is me done. Yeah, no warning lights. Job's done. Alright, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. I'm going to go home now. I'm almost home anyway. Just got to go along this road here. Go home anyway now. I still need to do a few little other things I need to do as well. Now I'm going to boot it down this road. That actually revs quite fast for a diesel. The boost doesn't really drop off either. You normally in a diesel car it normally drops off, but actually it revs quite well for a diesel. Not too bad, is it? There's no black smoke at the back either when I drop it down in gear or anything like that, or boot it. Normally. Well, this car doesn't do it at all. My mate is behind me in his van and that, and when I boot it, he goes, nothing comes out your exhaust. I was like, that's good then. I don't want nothing coming out the exhaust. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to go home now. I'm almost there. I just got to go down this other country lane and I'm home. So, thank you guys ever so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next video. See you later on.